then we'll carry out the tensile test of mild steel specimen and the cast iron specimen. And then we'll evaluate following yield stress, ultimate stress, breaking stress, breaking strain, actual and nominal, elongation of the gauge length, reduction in area, proportional limit, and elastic limit. Okay. The equipment specification, as I mentioned already, is in new machine 300 kilonewton machine, and we show the specimen in the testing procedure. So this is the lower cross side of this machine, and this is the face, and this is the upper cross side of this machine. This is movable. This can move from up and down to a limited distance. Okay. So, and this will totally work on a hydraulic control system. Means closing and opening of this grip is controlled by the hydraulic pressure, which is this hydraulic pressure. First of all, we switch on the hydraulic pressure, then pushes the hydraulic in certain pressure, and the pressure is already maintained manually from vary from the different materials such as aluminum, steel, whatever we use. Then accordingly we change the hydraulic pressure within these. And operating of these grips will be done by this system. This is called the hydraulic control system. Okay. The opening and closing of the grips is totally controlled by this hydraulic system. So what I am going to do right now, I am just going to close the upper grip. After pushing this button, the upper grip will closes with the high pressure I will apply. Okay. Similarly, when I lose the pressure, I release the pressure, then it will open the grips. Same function will work for the upper grip also. When I close, then the upper grip will close. Means the hydraulic pump applies the pressure to the grips. So it closes. Now when I release the pressure, after closing, when I release the pressure, this will open. So specimen is fixed between these two portions, upper portion and lower portion. Okay. The second part of this machine is control unit. Okay, the control unit is here. Okay. So this is represented. There is a display unit which displays the force, position, and TD2, TD3. First thing is force. How much force initially the machine has? This force is by default because of the load of this heavy unit grip cell, and this load is communicated to the load cell through the stud. Okay. So this is the by default load. This can be set to this zero. This can be offset. Okay. This positions indicates that what the initial position of this crosshead means 120 mm, 120.66 mm means from the zero is here. When we change, when we move upward, this is goes positive. When we go downward from this portion, this goes to be negative. Okay. So first thing is represent the force. How much force is acting on this load cell, and second is the position of the crosshead. Third thing is that it will display when the test is continuing, means how much it will elongate, specimen elongated. And last thing is percentage, means how much strain in the material exists during the test. So third thing is on the stroke length, how much distance, how much deformation will take place in the material, and the fourth thing is the strain, how much strain is developed in the material after loading. Okay, so the movement of this crosshead is governed from this controller. Okay, after just pressing this button, everything will enable. So there is a two buttons up and down. When we push up button, the crosshead start moving slowly. Okay, this crosshead start moving slowly, and when we push down, the crosshead starts moving down slowly. So this is the main control unit of this crosshead of this machine, and everything is governed by this control unit. What I am telling, the force is connected to this system, and what the position of this crosshead position is governed by this control unit. So every parameter, either force or displacement or strain, this everything is communicated to this control system. Okay, through the proper wiring system. After that, I will just going to shoot the samples and with the explain about all the sample geometry what we are going to use here for different material for monolistic as well as the cast iron. So this is a standard specimen made of mild steel. This is an hourglass specimen. Okay. So initially what I am going to do, I was going to measure this the initial diameter, using the vernier, this not analog vernier. So after putting here, I will just measure this initial diameter. It comes out to be 15 mm. This comes out. The initial diameter of this specimen is 15 mm. So to verify this value, I just take a rough data from other position also. Similarly, it comes out to be 15 mm, and then another position. Yeah, it is near about 15 mm. So I have taken 3 data, and then I will take the average of this data. After calculating the diameter, I will measure it the gauge length. Gauge length will be the reduced section of this specimen, where the specimen is totally flat. Okay, so I am just going to mark it, the gauge length, using this vernier. So hopefully this length will cover the straight portion of this specimen. Okay, so I am just going to mark it here. Okay, so what I will going to do, this is nearly about 80 mm. The initial gauge length will be the 80 mm. Okay, so I am going to mark it here. Okay, I just mark so that after the test we can measure the final length of this specimen of the elongated portion. This will help me to find out the percentage elongation after the test. Okay, right, like this I will mark and using the marker. Okay, the next thing what we will do generally, we measure the grip diameter also. This should be as per the standard ASTM E8, this should be the 2 times of this gauge diameter. So nearly this is the 28, nearly equivalent to 2 times of the initial gauge diameter. So this is all about the specimen geometry. Now I am going to put this specimen into the grip for the testing. Okay, just first I will put the specimen. First one, I have just uplift the upper cross set. Okay. First I will put and make sure that the 60 to 70% of this grip area should be covered within the grips. Okay. This will make confirm that the gripping is proper. So after putting the specimen within grips, I will just apply the pressure. Okay. Now the specimen is fully gripped in lower grip section. So as I already discussed that this is a movable part, so I am going to move this part very close to the grip section. Now see, now it is coming downward. Okay. When the grips comes to very close to specimen, we start moving very slowly. If there is a deviation, means we also confirm that the specimen should be straight. Now start moving, ensuring that the 60 to 70% of the grip section should be covered within the grip. Okay, so I have gripped whole grips. This is sample design according to this grips. So after making sure that everything is okay, I am just applying the pressure. This will grip the specimen. Okay, this will provide the initial load, and this initial load is about to be 6 kN. This is by default, well, this can be offset. Okay, now I am just control of this system, and the third part of this machine is the DAQ system, data acquisition system. Okay, so after putting the sample within the grips and ensure that the grip is proper, then I am going to create a method, because This is totally common by a software. This machine totally common by the software called TrapeziMax V. So first of all, we made the method whether I have to do the tensile test or compression test or bend test. Then accordingly we put the sample geometry what I have used. Okay. So first I have created a method. Okay. So this window says that we are going to apply a tensile test, going to do a tensile test. Their corresponding, I am going to use the unit in SI. Their corresponding force will be in kilonewton by default. Displacement should be in mm. Stress, I am going to calculate in megapascal. Okay, strain in percentage and time in second. Okay, these 5 parameters I am going to calculate now, and then after setting these values, I am going to provide the next first sensor. What I already have told you that the force sensors, because we are going to apply a force. So we just calculate the force here, and this initial minimum force full scale is 300 because this machine capacity has 300 kilonewton capacity, on it is full scale is 300. This is limit so that upper limit or lower limit. Means in tension this can be go up to 300 kN, and in compression also it can be to minus 300 kN. Okay, so I am not going to change this thing. One thing that I am going to change here, the sensor and main. These things will be displayed during test on the screen. So what parameter we want to display on the screen while doing the test, this is our main concern. So after force is flow, and I want to also display the stress and the strain, okay, and the time. What is the time? Everything is dependent on time. Okay, because the rate what I am applying to do the test totally dependent on the time. Okay, after putting these parameters, I am going to provide the rate at which rate we are going to do a test. So initially by default it is 1 mm per minute. So I am going to change 1.5 depending upon the material. Okay, mm per minute means in a minute the material will elongate 1 mm. This is the initial rate. Okay. So next thing I am going to provide the geometry. What specimen I have applied, because the computer does not know what geometry we have applied to the machine. I have to tell him that. So basically the material is mild, so it should be metal. Okay, and the shape will be the rod, because I have already used the hourglass. This is geometry what I am used in the grip. Okay. This was number of batches, so I am going to do a single batch and quantity will be 2 by default. Okay, every unit will be mm. We can change it here. Either should be in micron, mm, or centimeter or meter. So by default I am going to be mm. Okay, as I decided the quantity of batches 2, there is a sizes 2. They are corresponding. So first I am going to use a mild steel. Okay. And diameter is near about 15, and parallel length. This is parallel length, that is same is equal to the gauge length. What I have measured 80 mm. Okay. So after providing the specimen geometry, I am going to do a next data processing. Which data we will require? So what we require is stress, yield stress, ultimate stress, percentage elongation. Okay. Starting from the end, breaking force and breaking stress is our main concern. Okay, maximum load, maximum stress and maximum displacement of the specimen should be our main concern, because at this maximum force and with the help of initial cross-section area we can find out the maximum stress also. But what structure we get is our main concern. Then why I come to the yield strength. Okay, yield strength corresponding to 0.2% offset. This will give the force as well as the stress. This stress is totally dependent upon the initial diameter what I have given in geometry. Okay, so after providing every data, what I concern yield strength, ultimate strength, maximum deformation, okay, and deformation at yield point. After setting these values, I am going to produce the next thing is a chart. This chart will show on the display while doing the test. So first curve what I want, force versus displacement. Okay, the maximum should be 5 kN. This is a scale. This can be adjusted. Now you can, if you not need to adjust, then no problem. Okay. This will reflect the clarity in the graph in the test. The first graph will be the force versus displacement, and second chart you can take it here. Chart 2. This will be force versus time. Yeah, first is stress versus strain. Okay, so I just put by default 100 megapascal. The percentage of combustion is 10%. If another graph you want, so I put chart 3. We can put 4 chart on the screen. Force versus time. Force 5 kN. Okay. This chart will show on the screen during the test, which will make sure that how much load is going to material sustain during the test. Okay. After putting these values, I am going to generate a report how it will look like. Okay. This is the title. Means I am going to do a tensile test. Okay. The speed will be 1.5 mm per minute. Everything I will give, and this will reflect onto the screen. Okay, the next thing what I am going to do, test this method I have created. Now I am going to do the test with this method what I have created. So I am just going to click test with this method. So I am not going to save this method. Okay. See what I discussed, that I have taken the chart 1 and chart 2. Chart 3 also be taken here. If I will take chart 3, then the size of the chart will be reduced. So it's not easy to visualize these things. Okay, so initially I have put the test speed 1.5 mm per minute, which is reflected here. Material will be the mild steel, this is also reflected here. Okay, maximum strength of the machine is 300 kN. Okay, it is written, it is clearly visible, and the specimen geometry what I have put here, mild steel, initial diameter is 15 mm, and gauge length, or you can say parallel length, is 80 mm. Okay, their corresponding which parameter we require is everything written here. Maximum stress, breaking force, breaking stress, maximum force, maximum stress, their corresponding yield force and yield stress. Okay, everything will be reflected after test here. Okay, so initial the specimen is loaded with initial preload. This should be the 0. I am going to click it 0 here. Okay. The initial stroke length should be 0, everything 0, because we want the data from 0. So I just put everything is 0. Okay, now everything is fine. Before we start the test, so now I'm going to start the test. Okay, for starting I will make sure that everything is fine. Okay, yes, everything is okay. The specimen is gripped within the hydraulic grip. Okay, pressure is on. Okay, fine. So now I'm going to start the test. Here. After clicking the start button, it will again ask everything is okay, then go start. So I'm just start. Okay, now test is started. Okay, now you see that there is a force and stress is corresponding. This force and stress comes out to the rate depending upon the rate which I have applied. Okay, you can say that there is a force and displacement. Okay, there is a second chart what I have taken, this is versus strain. Okay, this force is come out. This is the output depending upon the rate of loading. I have applied the 1.5 mm per minute. Then corresponding the force will generate in the material. Okay. You see there is a drop after this point because we have heard about the lower yield point and upper yield point. So there is some processing occurs in the material after the yield point. Okay. After some plasticity formation, the material becomes to work hardened. So the ductile materials plasticity is much more higher than the brittle material. So in during plastic deformation, material flow plastically. In during this process, the load does not increase, only deformation will occur. Okay. Now we can see that after some plastic deformation, the load again will start increasing because the work hardening started. Okay. See, we can see here that the stress raised near about 4 megapascal, 214 megapascal. It is now it's become nearly constant. So now we are at its ultimate strength. This is the material's ultimate strength. After reaching this value, the necking will start. The necking, the age cross-sectional area of the specimen will start reducing. Okay, this will be shown in the specimen. Okay, so these values are very high right now and nearly equal to its ultimate strength. When the necking start, the stress and load automatically going to retarded. Now you can see on the screen also. Load and stress now is going to reduce. Means necking is starting in the material. Now you see that the specimen is finally break, and their corresponding maximum force and maximum breaking force is given here in the first chart, and their corresponding the maximum stress and breaking stress will be computed from this stress strain data. Okay, this you know that, and the mild steel have maximum percentage elongation near about 30%. So this still have broken in between 28 to 30. This is a good result. Okay, so all this data will be shared to you. All these things will for the mild steel, and the same thing what we will do for the cast iron also. This is a broken sample, the mild steel. Now we see that, like in mild steel material, ductile material, the fracture will be the cup and cone shine. So we can clearly see that there is a cup and cone failure of the material. Okay, after breaking, now what we will do? We just make it as it is. Okay, like initial condition, and then measure its final length after elongation. Okay, final length after elongation. Okay, so this will be nearly 106 mm, and its final diameter At the necking diameter, you can see that this is 9 mm. The final diameter will be 9 mm and final length will be 106 mm. This final diameter and final length will help you to find out the percentage reduction in area and percentage elongation in the length. Okay, so this is all for the mild steel. Similarly, I am going to do the tensile test for the brittle material cast iron. The same thing what we'll do to measure the dimension of this geometry, hourglass shape. The initial diameter will be 14 mm. Initial diameter of this hourglass shape is this one is the 14 mm. Okay, make sure that I have make sure it is 14 mm. I will remeasure from different location. It is 14 mm. Okay, then second thing is that I will measure the gauge length, also called as parallel length. Okay, this is nearly equivalent to 135 mm. The initial parallel length is 135 mm. In similar way, I am going to do tensile test for this material also. So first, after taking the specimen, I am going to do the tensile test, and the test data will be shared to you along with the milestone data. So this is a brittle material. After the tensile test, we can show that we will know that the failure of the brittle material will occur at 90 degree. So it just fail without any elongation. So maximum elongation this will occur in this material is 0.3%. We will share the data where you can see it.